I'm live. Welcome to a unique kind of Cliff Notes Live. How are y'all doing? Let me start off with a big old FKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love my mom, love reality TV, especially love Big Brother, and especially love you folks that come out here and hang out with me every Monday night and those who watch on replay as well. I never forget you guys. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Welcome to all of you. As you can see behind me, a little bit different situation going on this evening. My mom's in the hospital having some medical issues. Thoughts and prayers for her, please. But doing that, and as part of while I'm up here hanging out, you can see a waiting room behind me. We're doing a little special episode this evening. We'll see how it goes. If you can't hear me, let me know. If I don't know, if there's any issues, let me know, and we'll figure out. We're just gonna wing it. All right, guys, let me start off with a real quick. Let me see who's out there. And I'm not going to do all the names because I want to get into the questions because we're still talking Big Brother, right? All right, Jake the horror movie geek. Jake, how are you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing fantastic. Favorite time of the year. Lots of horror movies on TV. Jacqueline Newberry as well. Marilyn Sutherland, Lee Strack. Mark Taylor, we share the same affliction. Terry Thomas, Brian Hosteller, Marshall Davis, Lynn Parson, Judd Dangle. I talk loud. I guess I can talk fast too. You think I was from New York or something. Love the Left, YCTHC Star, Christian Cisneros, Marianne, Ed, Patty, Audrey Cobb, Marshall Davis, Karen Hummer, Tim Cox, Patty, Ma, I hope you're doing fantastic, my friend. And let's see. And Cindy, I hope you're doing fantastic as well. Are you going to get a chance to go out there? Or is this going to maybe take place next season instead to see some evictions? Gosh, the season has gone so fast in so many ways. I'm looking forward to talking about it with all of you. All right, Ed and Lynn Gideon, Marshall Davis, Tommy Braskett, and Kennedy Franklin. Kennedy, how are you? I think that will cut it down because we got to talk about a little Big Brother. Do y'all realize? What? I'm sure you do. We've got five people left in this house. I remember when there were 5 people, so different than when you started out with 16. You couldn't find a spot in that whole house to have any privacy at all. Suddenly there's only 5. You can go into your room, hang out all day long, and no one says a word to you. Kind of cool, but a little creepy at the same time as well. We are almost there. So yes, we're going to talk a lot of Big Brother. Now, before I get into the questions this evening, I did have a question or two from last week. That I told you, I try to keep up as best as I can. I'm going to do it this evening. I'm missing my wingman, Sharon. Sharon's going to help me, but a little tougher because of the setup we've got. So I'm going to try to keep up with the questions as best I can. If I miss one, it's nothing personal. I probably just can't read as fast as you can type. But I did have a couple of questions from last week I wanted to get into real quick because I thought they were incredibly good questions. First of all, we had Lynn Gideon asking, says, I'm an interior designer. I wait expectantly every year to see the design theme. I love the Wonderland house. Do you have a favorite or least favorite design? I remember that Wonderland house, the teacups and all that. Yeah, that was that season 8? Maybe. It seems like maybe that's season 8. My favorite, of course, it's my house, right? The camp theme seemed like bear with me. It seemed like it fit in perfectly with me to have the woods and the muted colors and all of that. I'll give you a little secret. During the press preview, we went around, had to talk to a whole bunch of different people, different news outlets and things like that. And as part of that, they led me into the diary room. I was led in and I was blindfolded. I couldn't even see the hallways getting into the diary room area. But that's where Jeff Schroeder did the pre-interview, which was really cool. But while I was waiting just outside the door, I could see a little bit of brown, a little bit of wood kind of up against the wall. And I thought, gosh, it sure looks like some kind of cabin type setup. So I was very excited with the idea that maybe was going to be part of our theme because, hey, look at my shirt now, bass or whatever on here. It fit in well. So I like from purely just a relaxation standpoint, wood, brown colors, those were all pretty cool with me. The ones I hate, I was at season 22 All-Stars that was just all very stark, white tile, neon lights. I felt like it was very unrelaxing. It would have kept me stressed out the entire time I was in the house. So I like the ones that are a little bit more relaxing. Give me the country cabin type look every single day of the week. All right, one more quick question. Karen Loveland had said in the diary room, are there different people asking questions? Can you recognize the voices or are they computer generated? Not computer generated. Yes, they are different people. I think that maybe there's one person who's like the producer for or director for one Sunday night episode, someone else for the Wednesday night episodes where they have the veto comps and things like that. Maybe a different person handles different episodes. I never could recognize the different voices. There were people in my house that could. They'd say, "Oh, I talked to so and so." I don't know. I talked to someone, a discombobulated voice out there. I never could tell who was who, but yes, there are different voices. They didn't try to hide them, and they would give us our names sometimes. Hey, this is Sam. How you doing, Cliff? Well, except I'm on the block. I'm doing pretty good. So yeah, we did hear that. All right, let's move on with some of the questions that y'all got out there this evening instead. And I'm just going to try to go through them as best I can. So bear with me, guys. Mark Taylor, any chance that Mackenzie does not win at all? Yeah, dang good chance, Mark. I really thought that her best chance to win would have taken place today. For those of you who don't know, this is a spoiler zone. So yes, we will talk about spoilers. If you haven't seen the latest episodes or kept up with the live feeds, I may be throwing a few surprises at you. We had the veto ceremony today. For the first time all season long, the veto was not used. Yeah, Mackenzie had full power. She chose not to use the veto, which means we've got Chemo and Rabina on the block. One of them will be heading out the door. We're going to break out. We had the trio of the two of them in T-Core. We lost T-Core. Now we're going to lose the duo. And what are they going to do? Who are they going to talk to? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a long couple of weeks as we deal with that. But we're going to lose one or the other. I really think that that Mackenzie's best path to victory would have been to do a huge blindside, go after Chelsea, get her out. You could have pulled. Here's the beauty. You could have pulled, say, Chemo off the block, put Chelsea on the block. Cam may vote to keep Chelsea. Rabina, well, no, you keep Rabina on the block and put Chemo up there, I think. Pull Chemo off. Chemo, I think, would vote to send Chelsea out to protect Rabina. Cam's going to vote to send Rabina out to protect Chelsea. Suddenly, Mackenzie, as HOH, is the tiebreaker. She sends Chelsea out the door, which is a huge threat. She gets a huge boost on her resume when she's talking to the final two jury. It seemed like the perfect outcome to me. It just didn't work out. We know so much more information than the people in the house did. She thinks that she's tighter with with Chelsea than she actually is. She may pay the price. Yeah, Mark, I think there's a huge chance, and it's going to be next Thursday. She can't compete in HOH. It all comes down to the veto. Someone wins HOH, and that gives them entry into the final three, right? But then the person who goes home is determined by the veto winner. Whoever wins that, if it's, I think it's easy if it's Chelsea or Cam that win that veto, that they could send Mackenzie out the door. So it's the two of them versus Rabina. We're assuming Chemo's going to go home on Thursday. I think that's the case. So they would much rather have to compete against Rabina as opposed to competing against Mackenzie in a final three. So yeah, I think there's a huge chance that Mackenzie goes home. I think right now it's a 2-horse race. I think depending on what happens, if Mackenzie wins a veto, for example, then she's safe. She makes final three. And I think her chances of winning are astronomical. Depends on if she takes Chelsea to final two or not, which would not be the smartest move. But yeah, I think there's a chance she could do that. But if she doesn't win veto, I think she's in a lot of trouble. Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. All right, Mark Taylor as well. Mark, you got the question. I always thank you for bringing the questions every week. Mark saying, how far is the secondary house they use, and how do the contestants get there, walk, or get rides? Now, if you're talking about the jury house, that's way up in the hills of Beverly Hills. They put you in limos or taxi cabs, I guess, depending on how much they like you and how well you did in the game. But no, they drive you up there for that. If they're talking about the alternate location for when you do other competitions and all that, I don't want to get into a whole lot of detail because theoretically, I don't know, someone still could yell at me. But as far as the secondary location, it is close enough that you could walk. They won't let you walk. They put you on a golf cart, blindfold you, and drive you to the other location. It's still there on the CBS lot. It's very close. So it's a close location. But here's the thing. When you go outside to go out that second location, you're blindfolded the entire time. There's never any anything going on with it. So yeah, you never know anything while you're doing this. All right, let's see what else we've got. Let's see. Let's see. If Mackenzie doesn't win at Veto, she's out the door. Yeah, I think there's a very good possibility that. Is it okay if we film this right here?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay, all right.
I look at podcasts all the time.
Okay, I'm doing a thing on Big Brother, the reality TV show. I just want, yeah. So I just want to make. I was on it a few seasons. Yeah.
You were on it?
I was on it back in at season 19. So do you watch it?
You know, I tried to. The very first time it came out, I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
It just kind of lost me.
I get you. You get
the games that they play.
Yeah. It's the fun stuff. So yeah, I do a little broadcast on it. So my mom's up here. I just thought I'd talk a little Big Brother while I was there.
Perfect right here.
Yeah.
It's free.
Okay. I just wanted to check, make sure I wasn't violating any issues or anything.
No, I think it's perfect. What's the
My name's Cliff Hogg, and it's just I'm on YouTube, so the Cliff Hogg channel, and I call it Cliff Notes Live. So
that's awesome.
Appreciate it. So there you guys. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting in trouble with the hospital. But yeah, so we've got that. All right, here question, Lynn Parson. Does your amount of money depend on how many days you're in the house? Sort of. You get paid a little bit, not a huge amount, for every week that you're in the house or jury house. If you make it to 5th place or better, you get a little extra bump. It's not enough that I'm going off to Vegas and retiring or buying a yacht and going on below deck or anything like that. Yeah, no, it's a whole lot less than that. But yeah, we get a little extra. I think the little extra bonus money started my season because we didn't know it. No one told us that. We were sitting around in the house. Have you ever seen the people with the book and they're looking through the rule book and all? There's a little section that talks about bonus money. And we saw that. I was like, yay! One more reason to be happy to be Final 5. So yeah, you get a little bit more. All right, let's see. And Love the Left. And BB19, how did Paul get so close to most of the house guests? You want to use the same strategy, Love Left? If I remember, Paul was at 9. Yeah, so he was able to get people to basically, they had to be nice to him because he had a lot of power to come in. Production didn't want him going home first. So they gave him friendship bracelets. He handed that out. It let him consolidate power. So I think that's part of it. Here's the deal. Whether you're new or you're brand new, you're coming back in or you're brand new, I think the biggest thing to get so close to so many people, Love the Left, is consolidating. First of all, be nice and friendly to everyone, whether they're on your side or not. You never know when you may depend upon them. So I think being a friendly, charismatic person certainly helps. The other thing, and it's what I tried to do, and it didn't work, but I wanted to win the first HOH or become camp director my season, do something where I guaranteed had some power, because I thought with power, I could bring more people in. And as you bring more people in, you can get close. People want to be close to the people who are in charge, right? And so that's what I was thinking. I think if you want to try to be close to everyone, be friendly, and then maybe you may have to play a little harder at the beginning of the game because of that. Now that carries its own dangers, but Paul's interesting. He had a lot of people who were friends with him, either because they liked him, because he was a returning house guest and they feared him. A little bit of a mix of all of those. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. I'm trying to get through these quick, guys. YTC JC Star 1015. What was your favorite room in the house, and how did Big Brother move bedroom to a workout room? And did the bathroom have a door a few seasons ago? Yeah, they've had a few minor changes. My favorite room was the boat room, which is now the gym. It used to have a door on it. It's where I hung out. It was just my favorite spot. I thought I had some privacy there. Maybe not so much since I got overheard by Christy Murphy, but that was my spot to hang out. People kind of knew that. So especially towards the end of the season, people just kind of left me alone in there. So that was kind of cool. That is now, they converted it to the gym. We used to not have an indoor gym. I think that happened at big All-Stars because, they're spoiled and they had to have a gym. Now all we had is this janky stuff. Hey, way before Janky World, we had janky gym out in the backyard. Ovi, during my season, tried to do bicycling. It was all squeaky. The pedals were loose. It was as janky as it could possibly go. So yeah, we had janky gym before they had janky backyard. But yeah, they converted that to a gym. They changed the door so that didn't close. The door closes into the bathroom so that now you have a little bit more privacy in the bathroom instead, which I think was the main goal. When I was in there, you could sit in the bathroom, and if you look just right, you could bounce your reflection vision off of several mirrors and actually see who was in the living room all the way from the bathroom. Well, no more with that door. So that may be part of it as well. All right, let's see what we've got on here as we go into this stuff. Lots of guys out here. I love seeing you out here. Do you ever see production during a game like with Otev removing a stamp? Marion is asking. You do. You're not allowed to interact with production, but you do see them. It's tough to see sometimes in the backyard where most of the comps are. But for those, there's an upper level. Nowadays, it's a balcony. You go that circular staircase, you've got that balcony. That used to not be accessible to us, but it was a walkway up there already. And that walkway goes all the way around the backyard. And during a competition, you've got production and all kinds of game rules people up there and cameramen with big old cameras on jigs on, hanging out over the yard, other people controlling handheld cameras, a lot of camera people, sound people holding microphones up. During a competition, there typically maybe be 20 or 30 people up on those balconies watching us compete. We weren't supposed to talk to them. No one talked to us at all. I mean, they would get in trouble if they did. Usually you would have like one person who's saying, all right, guys, here's the competition. This is going to be the rules. This is what's going on. And do y'all understand that? We'd say, yeah, we understand that. And so that was never, you don't see that as part of the episodes, but that's what they would do. So we would communicate with a person like that. Other than that, zero. Now, there were one or two times, like there was Time Me a River, which Tommy won in day 51, where we tried to do kayaks down a little sloping area and you had to get exact time. In that one, they had production people that had to hold the kayaks to help us get into the kayaks and do the thing. I need to watch the episode. I'm not sure how they showed that in the episode, but at that time, they were like right there next to us. But they were told, these production people were told, if you talk to a single one of those house guests, you're fired. I don't know. We throw you in the CBS volcano. I don't know what the punishment was, but no one talked to us at all. They were paying attention. No one said a word to us. I think Jackson Mickey tried just because that's who he is. But yeah, he didn't mind if one of them, he just wanted information. No one said a word to us. So yeah, sometimes you'd have production, but most of the time inside the house, for example, when they have to change light bulbs, set up cameras, fix cameras, whatever, they send us up the HOH room. They lock us in until it's done. So we sometimes saw production, never talked to production. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. I'll see. I'm trying to keep up, guys. Rita Case saying, good evening, Cliff. When house guests are in the jury house, do they cook their own meals? No. Now, I was never in a jury house, so I can't say first-hand knowledge, but I talked to plenty of people. Yes, I think there's some meals that they cook. Yeah, I don't think they had the breakfast chef, otherwise known as Waffle House guy. I don't think they had the breakfast chef there in the morning to cook meals for them. But they had professional chefs coming in, fixing stuff. I think they brought in a lot of exotic sushi and gourmet meals. And I feel like they ate to their heart's content out there. So yeah, not every meal, but certainly more meals than inside the jury house. It was all covered. They didn't have a care in the world. They had massage people, professional chefs out there, yoga people, everything. Everything except newscasters that could give me news stories. All right, let's see. Mark Taylor, should they put up Cam and pull Rabina off the hot seat? There was talk about that. It's not going to happen now because we already had the veto ceremony, right? The idea was that Mackenzie was going to potentially pull Rabina off, put Cam up as a little bit of a warning or a punishment to Cam to, hey, you haven't been doing anything with these comps. We're upset with you. The main thing with Mackenzie thinking she could do that was then she could say, hey, Rabina, you and I, we're close. I'm going to try to make things as easy as possible for you. And also from Chelsea's standpoint, Chelsea and Mackenzie could then say, hey, Girls Alliance, we're pulling you off. We're putting two guys up, Rabina. That was always our plan. We want Chemo to go home. As long as the main target's Chemo, they've been kind of figuring all kinds of things, sneaky things, tricky things they could do with that pawn position. Could they have done it? Yes. Mackenzie potentially ran the risk of then having Cam be a little perturbed with her and send her out or something and said, it doesn't matter because Chelsea's already told Cam a couple of times that, hey, Mackenzie wanted to put you up. And I think if it comes down to it, Cam would use that as a reason to send Mackenzie out or put her up on the block versus Chelsea. So it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't matter now because it didn't happen. But yeah, there was talk about that. All right, Michelle Moore saying, talking about Ma. Ma, I hope you are feeling safe and better. Any trips to the hospital this week? Hey, I'm hanging out in one. Probably not the one that you would be too, but Ma, I hope you're doing all right. All right, let's see. C. Garbanino, howdy, Cliff. You're the only reason I like Mondays. Well, I hope there's more to Mondays than just that. It's 15% of your life, right? So find something that you like on Mondays other than Cliff Notes Life. But thank you for the support. I do appreciate that. All right. Janet Johnson, was the Veto ceremony today? Yes, it was. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I've been a little pulled back from the live feed, so I'm going to rely on y'all to tell me a little bit today. But it was, and Chemo and Robina are staying on the block. All right, let's see. Ma saying, I don't think anyone's concerned about me. Nah, Ma, you know better than that. I'm not going to listen to that. Lots of people, lots of friends out here. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Watching in Houston, Lewis Q saying, well, good. I hope you're doing down. What part of Houston? We're down in the south side. All right, let's see. Sending prayers, Mr. Cliff. Lewis Q, thank you so much. My mom needs them, but she's a fighter. I'm a fighter. I got it from my dad, who taught me to always stand up for what you believe in. My mom is an incredible fighter as well. So fingers always crossed and always hoping for the best. And thank you, Tommy Braskett, for the prayers as well. All right, let's see. Best of luck to your mom, Mr. History Buff. Thank y'all so much. And Andy W. And Lynn. Lots of y'all thinking about her. I will tell her that, and she'll be appreciated. Sheila Rivera, this is my first time joining live, Lovey. Well, thank you, Sheila. I'm glad you made it on before the end of the season, but here's a little secret. We do this throughout the entire year. Now, after we get through with Big Brother, we'll start talking a little bit more Survivor, because that's still going to be going on. We'll talk about the challenge, the Survivor. We'll talk about beyond reality TV. We can talk about all kinds of stuff, but certainly during the Big Brother season, 95% of what we do. But Sheila, thank you. I appreciate you coming on board. I do. We have a lot of fun out here. Most of the fun's looking at the comments. I'm just here to provide the background noise. I hope it's more than that, but no, we do have fun out here. All right, let's see. Lisa D. Oh, for a second, I thought Cliff was half shirtless. People have said that before. I do it like this. Now, I will say, did y'all know today is National Orange Shirt Day? Or I would say International Orange Shirt Day, Canadian Orange Shirt Day. Apparently, it is a recognition of the indigenous people who went to government schools back in the early part of last century and all of that. And I know there were issues with that, and Canada trying to redress some of their indigenous issues that they've dealt with. So anyway, Canada, happy celebrating, remembering Orange Shirt Day. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Let me check. Karen Hummer. Karen, thank you. Thank you so much for the support. I certainly appreciate that super stamp, super chat. I don't know what, I still don't know what they call it, but I appreciate the support. I truly do. All right, Karen is saying, with all the restrictions on live feeds this year, is it worth the extra money? Now, don't be getting me in trouble with Paramount TV by telling you other than absolutely it's the favorite app I've got of all the apps I've got on my Fire Stick, which is where I keep it. Here's the reality, Karen. If you don't already have it, you're getting towards the end of the live feeds. There's not nearly as much going on. Pluto TV, which you can access for free, has had live feeds on as well. I have it. As much as I talk about the show, I have Paramount Plus, and I've had it ever since. Before I was even on the show, in fact. But no, there's probably other ways that you could do it as well. Paramount Plus has a lot on there. I'm not a shill. They don't pay me a penny. I don't even pay for my subscription. You would think they'd cover that, but they don't. Yeah, is it worth it? It depends. You can watch a lot of shows on there. Current shows, old shows on CBS and all that. So I'll let you go out there and look at the plan. I will give all of y'all a little heads up for next season. Typically during the summer, about the time Big Brother starts, if you hold off just a little bit, sometimes they start giving all kinds of pretty cheap discounts that you can get 90 days for a couple of bucks a month as opposed to their regular fee. So take with that what you will. But Karen, I appreciate the support. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. All right. And yes, I am wearing a shirt under here to get back to the other conversation. All right, let's see. Julia Shepard saying, hey, Cliff, I was not a fan of Mackenzie. Then I came to like her. Now I'm very frustrated that she isn't taking Chelsea out. I'm lost. Well, here's the deal. Separate the game from the person as much as you can. Now, the other reality is no matter what you see on the screen, that may not be the actual person, right? We're only seeing a person whose task has been to win a game by doing a lot of cutthroat, devious backstabbing, or if you're chemo, just doing some song and dance, and that's good too, right? It's a different approach, I guess. But no, I kind of see where you're coming from. Now, I was a Mackenzie fan from the very start because she's an Aggie. She's from just across the highway from me in Pearland, Texas. She's from Houston, so excuse me. I was definitely a Mackenzie fan. She's had a tough road of it. She's started off kind of as a lone wolf once Matt left. Leah maybe threw her under the bus just a little bit to try to distance herself from her. I thought she has done a pretty good job of integrating herself into some groups such as Cam and Chelsea, which is good. Not so good. I feel like she's got blinders on when it comes to Chelsea. She's just not convinced that Chelsea is capable of being devious enough to lie to her or to not be honest with her. She said at one point, I think Rubina, and maybe it's today or yesterday, Rubina said something about, why are you and Chelsea so tight? And Mackenzie said, well, we're both women of faith. Talking about their religious faith and all that. And it is funny when you're in that house, you find anything to focus on that maybe you can find a common bond with someone else that will help you. With Ovi, it was, you went to Tennessee, I went to A&M, we're SEC schools, we're the South and all of that. With Sam Smith, it's like, and Jessica as well. Y'all are parents. I'm a parent. There's only 3 of us that are parents in the house. You try to find a bond with everyone. Sometimes it sticks more than with others. In Mackenzie's case, it stuck pretty well with Chelsea. And as a result, now I think she's too trusting of Chelsea, and she's really going to regret it. But it's okay to be frustrated with her. Don't be upset with her because she doesn't know all the conversations that we see. She's going to get out of the house and she's going to say, oh my God, every one of us who gets out, even the ones who win, I think, but more so those of us who don't, I think all of us say, God, what if I'd done this? What if I'd done that? Mackenzie's going to have a whole lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and a few regrets here and there, unless she wins. And then she'll say she played the perfect game. And I'll still argue with her, but you can't argue with success too much, right? All right, let's see what we've got in here. Lisa D sending me good vibes. Thank you, Lisa D. I appreciate that a lot. All right, the Big Brother Nerds crew, Tommy Braskett saying, I'd wear the title with pride. Absolutely. Do all Aggies play poorly? All right, Mike. I hope are you talking about football? Or are you talking about the game of Big Brother? For whatever reason, there have been a lot of Aggies, Texas A&M Aggies in the game of Big Brother. Some of us have gotten further than others have. I finished up 4th. It certainly looks like Mackenzie could finish 4th as well. We shall see. I was excited. Her music for her HOH was George Strait. That's what I requested in my HOH as well. So, yeah, we got a few similarities here and there, but we'll see. I certainly am going to reach out to her once this season is over, and we'll reminisce a little bit about Aggies and Big Brother and all of that. All right, let's see. Karen Loveland, I don't know how much I'll participate since I'm at the VFW with Ron. I am glad to hear that. I am so happy, Karen, that he obviously is doing better if y'all are at the VFW. So congratulations. I'm incredibly happy. Shout out to Ron on my behalf. Please let him know that I continue to think about him, and good. I'm glad to hear that. And we always appreciate your participation. So large or small, it doesn't matter. I get it. All right, let's see. Heather Van Hart Powell. I was really hoping Mackenzie would backdoor Chelsea. Yeah, a lot of people were. Just the one time, there were times where I was like, don't use the veto. Don't use the veto. This time I thought she should have used the veto. I don't know. I was going to say I'm not 100% convinced that she should have won the HOH to begin with. There's too much uncertainty. With this few people in the house, you got to win everyone because you don't know what's going on in other people's mind. No matter how safe you feel, you don't really know. Is this not the strangest Final Five that we have ever seen? You've got 2 game players. Chelsea and Mackenzie, if either one wins this season, I'm all for them. Y'all know I've been on the Chelsea bandwagon for a while, right? She's not played a perfect game either, but I feel like Chelsea is the manipulation queen this season. She's done a good job of insulating herself. If McKenzie or Chelsea, either one wins, I'm going to call it a successful season and be very happy with it. If Cam wins, I guess I'm going to have to reconsider the strategy of being a lamppost. I mean, I am curious to see when he does his interviews afterwards, if he's going to say it was his plan to not win anything, to absolutely just go under the radar from start to finish, or was that something that just happened because he didn't win comps and just decided that it wasn't worth it? I want to know how much of this is him trying to not win and how much of him just is not being a Division I football athlete translating well to rolling balls down ramps or something. Speaking of, did y'all see I'm sure you did, the veto ceremony, the double eviction ceremony on Thursday that Chemo won? Chemo won the props to Chemo. Rolling the ball down the little S-shaped ramp, just like I did to get my battle back, to get back into the house. I was so incredibly happy to see it. But did you notice as you look, and if not, go back and check it out, they had huge 1-inch rails on all the curved parts of those boards, of those snake boards, so that they could roll those balls as quickly as possible. The ball would hit the curve and just roll on around. It was very hard to fall off because of that. They dumbed it up or simplified that game so much compared to mine. We didn't have those rails at all. You had to be very careful as you went around those curves, or it would just roll right off the side. They didn't do that. And I saw some people say, well, yeah, but it was part of a live ceremony, double eviction. You had to go quick with it. Mine was a live ceremony on TV for the battle back. We were supposed to be fast as well. We had 3 minutes. I really think that maybe when we did it, I was the only one who kind of dominated. The others did. I think Ovi got a ball and no one else did. I think they were afraid that maybe the results would finish up and the veto winner would have one ball in and no one else would have any others in. So they just made it a whole lot easier. I wasn't happy to see that. Chemo better not ever be comparing his time to mine, because we'll have to have a discussion. But I was glad to see that veto competition. It was pretty cool. All right, let's see. Karen W. Glad we made it. We just got our power back that Helene took from us. I have no idea what's happened in the Big Brother house. Look forward to this update. All right. Big old summary, Karen, for you real quick in 15 seconds. Chemo and Rubina are on the block. Chemo is going home. It then depends on who wins the HOH, who wins the veto. Right now, McKenzie's in trouble because no one wants to go to the final two with McKenzie. Chelsea, we'll find out. Chelsea's insulated because of the Girls Alliance, because Cam likes her. And there you go. So what would be your odds? Chemo's going home, right? I think Chelsea's got the best chance of winning. I would say McKenzie has the second best chance. Now, here's something to think about. Rubina, if Chemo goes home, Rubina already has then 3 votes locked up to win this thing. If it's Chemo that's gone, Rubina's got Chemo's vote. Rubina's got Tichor's vote. I feel like she only needs 2 more and she gets this thing. Would Angela give it to her versus Chelsea, who's not her favorite person? Would Cam or McKenzie, as part of a bitter juror, give the vote to Rubina instead? I could see wilder things happening. I would not bet on Rubina to win it, but don't assume that it's impossible for it to happen. That would be an interesting season if that was to be the case. Karen, the main thing, I'm glad y'all are safe. Certainly in Houston, we deal with a few hurricanes. I know what you've been through. Glad you got power back, which means you also have AC back and food and everything that's important. You can go out, check the playlist. I'll give you the update on all the weeks you missed, but do that because it's getting a little quiet in the house right now. All right, let's see. Yeah, Colleen, I'm not bare-chested. It's just an orange shirt. All right, and Janet, thank you for the prayers for my mom. Mark Taylor, the Tigers, Detroit, I assume, are coming to Houston to take it to the Astros. We shall see. Somehow those old Houston Astros, every season they do it. Rangers aren't in it this season, so we'll find out how baseball goes. Yeah, we're in the boys of October. We'll see how Detroit goes. I've always liked Detroit as a team. All right, only been to Detroit once in my life. 20 years ago or so. Didn't spend a lot of time there, but we'll see how they do versus the Astros. All right, let's see. Colleen, let's see. Y'all are worried about Ma, which makes me even more worried. Cindy, who's your pick to win from who's left? Cindy, I gotta I want to say Mackenzie, but I really got to go with Chelsea. I think Rabina's going to vote for Chelsea. If she can make it to the final two, right? I think if she makes it to the final two, I think she's got it. I just think she does. There may be a random vote here or there, but I think she would get T-Core and Angela. No, not Angela. I was thinking Angela may be one of the few that doesn't get it. But yeah, I think she gets a lot of votes if Chelsea gets there. I don't think Chelsea wants to. I mean, I don't think Rabina wants to send Chelsea home. Mackenzie doesn't want to send Chelsea home. Cam doesn't want to send Chelsea home. Chemo is not going to get the chance to send Chelsea home. So I just don't think anyone has the courage to send her out the door. So I think it's going to be Chelsea. And if not Chelsea, it could be Mackenzie. I'm real curious to see what the final two voting would be with Mackenzie versus some of these others. She's won a lot of competitions. That's going to be her argument when she gets in there. But we've had in the past, it was a T-Core talking to Rabina a few weeks back where they were both saying, this season's different from most seasons. It's not going to be based on who wins the most competitions. It's going to be based on relationships and loyalty and all that. Well, it's easy to say from people who aren't winning a lot of competitions. Those who win a lot tend to focus on that when they give their jury votes and all of that. But at least some people are saying they're not going to look at the winners and losers of comps and all of that. So maybe Chemo has a chance. Nah, he doesn't have a chance. There's no way. But yeah, I think Mackenzie would have a decent shot. That has to be her argument. But she needs more than just a comp. She also needs to say that she directed some decisions based on her having power as much as she did. Now, Chelsea's just going to jump in and say, man, you had the power, but I had the words that caused the influencing and all that. It would be interesting between the two of those. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. First Hurricane, Helene, welcome. They're always exciting. Mark James Weber, you're one of my favorites, Cliff. Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I try to keep it real. I try to have fun out here. I definitely try to keep it positive. Y'all know me. I'll criticize gameplay every once in a while, and I kind of poke some fun at it. But at the end of the day, I try to remember that everyone playing this game is under incredible stress, incredible pressure, and it leads people to do things that they would never do in the real world. So I don't hold them to it once they get out of the house. All right, Heather Van Hart, she should have backfired Chelsea 100%. She should have. She's just so worried. And again, did she not do it because she doesn't understand that Chelsea's not really on her side, or did she not do it because she is so concerned about jury management that if she gets rid of Chelsea, she's worried that then Chelsea's going to vote against her in the final two, and with only 7 jurors instead of 9, it has more impact. I think it's more the first, that she just has a blind spot with Chelsea, but it could be a little. We'll see. All right, Mark James Weber saying my faves left are if any, or Chelsea and Rabina. If any, I get what you're saying, but Chelsea and Rabina will vary a lot. I don't know that Rabina. I think she would be interesting to hang out with in the real world. She's a firecracker, right? She is a 4'9" dynamo. Y'all tell me, did you know that she did roller skating? I was going to say roller derby, but I'm not sure that's the case. But did y'all know she was big time roller skating campaigns and things like that before? Because I only heard that a couple of days ago on the feeds. I had no clue. Or her BB Comics referred to her being a roller queen or something. Roller rebel Rabina, something like that. I guess I just never heard that. Maybe I just tune out too much when Rabina and Chemo start talking. All right. What do y'all think about the BB Comics? I know they haven't shown them. They're going to show them on Wednesday's night episode. So we haven't seen the graphics, but we've heard what they talked about. So what do y'all think about them? Y'all cool with them? I'm sitting there looking at a few of them. Matt was Crazy Eyes. Lisa was Glitter Critter. Kenny was Sweet Kenny K Sausage. Cedric was Young Cedric. Brooklyn was Charcuterie Thief. I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if she appreciated that. I'd hate to have my whole BB comic dependent upon someone else griping at you. T-Core was Crow Slay. I think that's a fantastic play on words. Chemo Vol Chemo. Rubina Roller Rebel. Tucker was the instigator, the AI instigator. Cam was the chameleon. You can't even see him or something like that. Brilliant. I love that one. Fantastic. Good job production on that one. Chelsea was a Microsoft chip all the way back from the very first episode when she and Cedric were chips. We'll see what the graphics look like on that one. And then MJ Mackenzie was the Mech Enzy robot. All right, that's kind of a cute little pun. The dad jokes in me appreciate it. But yeah, what y'all not only what you think about the BB Comics, what do y'all think about the fact that Cam could not even complete his BB Comics in 30 minutes? He timed out. I solved it. Holly solved it during, so everyone during our season solved it. Nicole won. She did in like 5 minutes. Something incredible how fast she was. We didn't stand a chance, but we still finished it. How does, and Cam said, oh, I thought I was looking at the spot, the differences. I actually had 2 posters out of order and all that. If he excelled at other comps and it was just this one, I'd say, yeah, maybe that's the case. But the fact that his track record is so poor, I'm not buying it. I think I don't know if he didn't try or he just didn't quite. Maybe he's having too much fun on the zip line. I don't know. How did Cam time out on this? Chelsea gave him a hard time. She said, Chemo beat you on a physical competition, Cam. If I'm Cam, we saw him kind of hiding his head in the kitchen. And I'd be in the diary room just hiding behind the couch at that point in time. That was a little bit of a surprise. I thought he'd do a little bit more than that. He didn't. Mark James Webster, I think Mackenzie will win the season. I think there's certainly a possibility. And Lisa D saying, I think Rabina too. But we shall see. Rabina and Chemo, neither one tried to do any campaigning, as far as I know, not really, to Mackenzie. And she said at one point, hey, if they're okay with staying on the block, I guess don't come talk to me. If they had approached her, it's not even just about this week and today. It's about next week and trying to make sure that you're in a decent position next week. They didn't do it. They're too busy singing and telling stories and trying to scare people and things like that. All right, Dr. Bose, I'm not going to forget you, my friend. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the super chat stamp as well. Thanks, sir. Much appreciation. Says, howdy, Cliff. Given the hurricane devastation in the East, I can only think of one time Big Brother updated the guest with outside news. Can you? It's the only one I can think of. Let me take that back. The big one was, I can't remember the house guest's name. She actually had a cousin who was in the trade towers and apparently perished as part of it. Can you imagine being in the house and getting a news like 9/11? That is absolutely incredible. And I've seen the video clips when they tell them, and it still gives me shivers each and every single time. Just something else. Now this one, did they? Have they, Dr. Bose? Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know that they've told them about the hurricanes and things like that. Have they? I'm not sure if they have. I'm trying to think who left in the house is maybe from Florida, Atlanta area that would be affected. I have a feeling that probably, as long as no one was directly affected, that's family to the house guest, they'll probably leave it alone, especially given how close we are to the end. They had a hurricane that came through during my season. Hurricane tropical storm. I don't remember. Some severe storms that came through Houston. My family was okay, so nothing was ever said about that to us. We had the earthquakes that hit during my season, and I begged these guys. I went into production, said, look, you don't have to tell me where it hit. You don't have to give me anything that's going to reveal details. Just tell me if people are okay or if San Francisco's in flames or something. I just kind of want to know, was this a big tragedy or just something people are moving on with? We're sorry, Cliff. We can't give you that information. It's like, oh my God, guys, y'all are killing me here. I don't know if it's just because they didn't want me to then go out and say, oh, it wasn't a big deal, guys. And then everyone watching on live feeds, oh, well, obviously Cliff must watch the news or something. Somehow he must have a telescope. I don't know why they wouldn't tell me. I'm not sure. They didn't tell me the hurricane either. I'm not sure they'll tell them about this hurricane as well. Now, you're right. That's the 9/11 is the one time I really remember. There have been times, I think BB Over the Top maybe, or the season during the writer's strike where they may have told them who won the presidential elections, some of maybe Olympic results here and there, little kind of trivial news. And sometimes I make it a little fun and games. You know, which of the following do you think happened, house guest? And it's sitting around the living room. Julie Chin did that. So yes, sometimes they tell them a little bit here and there, but they do it live. Everyone's watching. We're all seeing the reveal made and all of that. But yeah, 9/11, a little bit different situation. as it should have been. I would have hated to be in that house. There would have been a part of me that would have just said, with that kind of situation, how can we sit here and just play fun and games? I would have been very inclined to say maybe we shut this down and talk about what's really important. I probably would have been talked out of it, but I sure would have wanted to do that. All right, let's see. Karen Loveland saying Rubina looks like Maya Rudolph. Any others see this similarity? I guess I could kind of see that. I need to pull up a picture of her as well. See, Cindy Hire saying, do you know if they blindfold you to the jury house? I doubt it. I think once you're out of the house, they probably do not, because at that point in time, it's not as big a deal if you see stuff. Now, I guess you don't want someone holding up a banner saying things, right? I mean, but if I recall, I'm trying to think when I got booted. I don't know that I was blindfolded that I can recall. I don't think so. So probably not, but they certainly probably try to avoid going down streets where there's people yelling and screaming and things like that. But yeah, I don't think so. But that's a good question. I don't know. Miss Fireside, I'm deciding what flavor my birthday cake will be. My favorite, strawberry. I've always been a huge strawberry fan. My mom always made a strawberry cake for me. Sharon always makes a strawberry cake for me. I love my strawberries. Except on pizzas, and then I go with pineapples and says, how come they don't have strawberry pizza? I could be down with a strawberry balsamic vinegar on top of a pizza crust. Sounded pretty good to me. A little better than the hospital food that we've been eating downstairs in the cafeteria. All right, Ed is saying Final Four HOH is pretty cool. Safety, no blood on your hands, and you can compete in the Final Three. Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's yeah, you're absolutely right. It grants you entry into the Final Three, which is so cool, which is why during my season, I was so incredibly shocked when Jackson Mickey convinced Holly to throw the final HOH comp, the Final Four HOH comp. She threw it and let Nicole win that thing. Blew me away. Now, they had promised they were going to do that. And at the time, I was like, are you? If you do, so much the better. But I didn't really believe it until Holly dropped. And then when Holly dropped, I thought, well, maybe they were telling the truth about everything. No, Jackson Mickey was lying. Holly wasn't, though. And I realized later that he convinced her to drop. I don't know how he convinced her, but the reason Jackson Mickey convinced Holly to throw it, was because he wanted to make sure that he wasn't the only person not named Cliff or Nicole that was eligible to get sent home that particular week. He wanted to make sure there was someone like Holly still there. So if Nicole or I had won veto, that he could convince us to send Holly home instead of Jackson Mickey. That's the reason he convinced her to throw it. I don't know why Holly actually went along with it and threw it, because it was her comp. She could have won that. Well, Nicole was good, but I think Holly could have won that comp if she had wanted to, and she didn't. It's one of the reasons I voted for Jackson Mickey to win the money instead of Holly, was not because of the lie and overhearing us and all that, because he convinced Holly to fall on that HOH. And I'm still blown away by that. People like or dislike Jackson, maybe more the latter than the former, but he was a decent game player as well. All right, let's see. Yeah, Ma said, I can't wait to see the hospital employee in the chat. I would have put him on if he wanted to come over here. I'm not sure if that was the case. He was just standing there. I just want to make sure that he wasn't going to be mad at me. But he's a Big Brother fan. Welcome to the family, anonymous hospital employee who got a chance to listen to a little bit of our show. All right, Miss Fire saying, how do y'all kill time in jury? Well, I wasn't there, Miss Fire, so I can't say. They had a pool table. They had a pool table. They had a fantastic looking swimming pool. All kinds of yoga folks showing up, and hey, my season, people still hooking up, so they got that going for them too. I think it was Ian Terry, maybe during one of his seasons, that they had a telescope that was supposed to be able to, you could watch the stars. They figured out if you pointed it just right, you could point it into the windows of the house next to them. And then this shows how desperate people are for information. They're not sitting there trying to be voyeurs and look at people doing things they shouldn't be doing. They were zoomed in watching football games on TV. They could point the telescope at the TV and watch some football games. Pretty cool, right? I mean, respect to those guys for doing that. But yeah, it was hard. Once I got booted, I had a week before the vote. I killed time by watching multiple seasons of Mad Men. That was what I binged the entire time I got out. I made it all the way to the very last season. I watched a lot of Mad Men. Production kept coming down saying, I'd say, hey, I need a new DVD of Mad Men. I need the new season, season 6 or 7 or whatever. I said, Cliff, it's 3:30 in the morning. You okay? That you've been watching these for the last 24 hours. You thinking you may want to get some sleep? Well, no, my sleep's so messed up and I'm so screwed up after being in that Big Brother house. I'm just watching movies. I'll sleep during the day. I'll sleep whenever. It was just weird for that week trying to. I was so ready to cast my vote, go home to my family, but I just had to put that last week in. I owed it to the people still playing the game. The most disappointing part was when I saw, because I didn't see who won the final 3 once I was out of the house, but then I got to see a little recap of who won the first part of final 3. And it's like, all right, Jackson Mickey won the physical part. Yeah, and I knew that was going to happen. But they brought me the video, and I got to see Holly beat Nicole in the second part of the HOH competition, the second leg. And at that point, I knew it was Jackson versus Holly in the final 2. They probably would take each other, that Nicole at that point probably was not going to make it in. That broke my heart. I just hated that. I was just like, don't even come talk to me, guys. Just shut it down. Just give me enough food to survive for the next day or two. And I'm just going to drown my sorrows in a whole lot of granola bars and things like that. All right, let's see. My favorite villains on Big Brother are Paulie, Frankie, JC, Taylor, Hale, and Angela. Mark James Weber saying it's a pretty good list. JC, I've met JC. He's quite interesting. I'd love to meet Frankie one of these days. He's as interesting as they come. Paulie, I've met Paulie. I met him at a couple of charity events. He is interesting. He's big into the wrestling and all that. He looked a lot different than he did in the Big Brother house. Favorite villains. Would I consider all of them villains? I guess in some ways. Yeah, how can I not say that? But lovable villains. I'm amazed, Mark, that you don't have Evil Dick on there. He's the villain of villains, right? There's a few other, Gina Marie and a few others, but that's an okay list. But being a villain maybe isn't always a bad thing, right? And some people look at villains and consider them heroes. So yeah, it's all a perspective, right? Heather saying, who do you think will win now? I think it's Chelsea, I think. Laura Liz prays for mom. Thank you so much. Just found out that Niecy Nash is Chelsea's aunt. No wonder she calls Julie auntie. I didn't know that, Stacey. Really? Or is that? Could be. She calls a lot of people auntie, right? I saw a thing where Chelsea said that she calls a lot of other people cousin as a way to make them feel closer and more like family. So to go with auntie for Julie kind of makes sense. Would Julie have appreciated me if I kept saying, hey, Auntie Julie? Somehow I think she would have taken it the same way if I had used that term, being a little bit older than Chelsea and all of that. We'll see. Paul had horrible jury management. Amy Bonner saying, yeah, it kind of cost him a couple of Big Brother seasons, right? He didn't care so much about jury management. Jackson Mickey during my season did horrible jury management. He's dang lucky that I didn't take it more personally than I did. Let's see. And then Ma saying I never made jury. Yeah, I made it to 4th, but I made jury. I never made it to the jury house. All right, let's see. My least favorite villains are Mickey, Jack, Paul, Josh, Amanda Zuckerman. Amanda. I forgot about Amanda. Josh is just lovable Josh. Not a huge fan, maybe during, I don't know, I should say that. I was upset when he first started playing where he took the golden apples. Like, oh, what are you doing, Josh? As he played the game, he plays very emotional. He plays the challenge the same way. That's all right. I've hung out with Josh a few times. He's interesting. Does the jury house carry Netflix? I don't know, Miss Fire. Probably not. Maybe. They got a lot of DVDs to watch instead, I heard. I'm sure they do. All right, let's see. This season was always up and down for me. Lisa D saying, whoever thought the game was ridiculous or over, they shocked me. There were a lot of twists and turns. You're absolutely right. Turned out to be a great season. I'll say this, and I'll do a recap episode at the very end. I love the cast. When they came out, I was like, oh my God, casting people, y'all hit a home run. Gameplay, I'm going to take it down a notch or two. I think gameplay the twists were okay, and I think the twists made gameplay a little better. There are a few people who I don't think they played a great game like Tucker, but he certainly made it interesting and exciting. Now, I'm still huge on the Tucker, Quinn, Joseph, just a lot of Lisa, Angela, a lot of very big personalities in this house this season, and that's what we enjoy watching. So yeah, I agree with you with that. Mark James, why'd you put up Isabella during my HOH week? I asked why you thought it wasn't the best move. All right, look, keep a couple things in mind. First of all, Mark, Bella, and Nick had just absolutely brutally, savagely gone after Nicole, who was my tightest person. That plus the fact Bella had come to me and say, "Hey, Cliff, if you play your cards right, if you do exactly what Nick and I say, we may be able to get you to the jury house." It's a very condescending conversation she had with me. So, no, I respect. I'd like to say I'm friends with Bella. I don't think we have any issues with each other, but certainly from a gameplay standpoint, she wasn't an ally at all. The other thing is, yes, she was separate from the other group, and so it was easy to put her up. But I really thought that as soon as that other group felt threatened, they would pull Nick and Bella right back in, and those two would jump right back in with the other group. I didn't think that they were permanently released from that side of the house. So I thought, all right, if I get rid of them, it's not exactly going after the final or the group of 6, but it's going after peripheral, and they're not anyone that I can count on for a vote anyway. That's why I did it, and because it allowed me to build up a whole bunch of trust with Christy and the rest of the house, which carried over, and I think it's what saved me when I was on the block versus Cat. From that point on, I had to change my game a little bit. I'm honest, Cliff. If I tell you something, you're going to be able to count on it. And so I think that helped me throughout the rest of the season. It was tough. Trust me, it was a tough one. All right, with that, guys, 7:58. We're going to need to shut it down. I apologize. I know there's still questions out there. Any questions I missed, send them to me on DM. I read a few this evening. I'm not always able to do that. Send me a DM saying, "Hey, Cliff, here's a question for next week." I'll screenshot it. I'll do my best to get it on the show next week. Nothing personal. I just can only read so fast as far as the comments go and all that. But guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. Thank you for all the thoughts and prayers for my mom. Some medical issues, and we're still dealing with. But you know what? You keep the smile on your face. You keep the positivity about everything in life, not just Big Brother, not just about house guests. And life just goes a whole lot easier for you. Take it from me. I got a few years under my belt. Guys, if you haven't done so already, I think I forgot to say this at the beginning. I'll say it now. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Turn on notifications. I drop my recaps in the morning very early yesterday and today. If you have your notifications turned on, you would have known that. So please consider signing up for my channel. Turn on the notifications. A little thumbs up out there is always appreciated. Guys, enjoy your Monday. Thursday's the final 4 HOH, and we're going to have a lot more to talk about next Monday about who we think is going to win this whole thing. We're almost done, so y'all be thinking about other ideas that we may be talking about on down the road. I still have my pickle ice cream and macaroni and ice cream to talk about and to taste in front of you guys. So we'll be doing some other stuff later. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Ma, I hope we're concerned about you. I hope you're doing well, as the rest of you. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next Monday, or until tomorrow morning with the recap, SKD for 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye. Bye, hospital guy. See y'all later as well.